Welcome back to AI Search, the podcast about AI and ML in every industry. So excited to have Elena here with us today. She is a LinkedIn content creator creating amazing visuals with AI to talk about her career, how she got started, and seeing where this is going to go. Hey, Elena, how are you doing today?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. I'm very happy to talk about the subject today with you and hope you're good today.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you about design because I've been following you maybe for a year now on LinkedIn. So probably since you started,
yes,
maybe.
It is like the whole year.
Yes, I was lucky to find your profile at the beginning, I think. And you make incredible visuals with AI. And I think the thing that drew me to your profile was the kind of fashion-based imagery that you're doing. And I always loved high fashion because I think their exhibits are kind of pushing boundaries, especially if you go to France or Italy.
Yeah, like Milan, it's really huge for me. It's huge inspiration, and the brands, bigger brands really have influence on me. And I do like sorts of fashion and retail and all sorts of that. It's what inspires me. Yeah. So that's what I love, what I search the most, and that's what I put the content out there, and that's what my community really responds good to it, and I'm very happy. So I can really put my creativity out there, and it's really accepted, and just having the whole community of almost 20,000 people is really crazy. I'm really grateful, but that was not the case at the beginning. So LinkedIn was really it pushed me in my career really a lot, and I'm grateful. And from the beginning, I didn't post that much. Honestly, I was just learning. I was just watching what creators do and just wanting to learn the branding, and not just theory about it, but just the practical side of it too. So that was important to just hear from the real people behind the projects. It was not only about the brands; it's the people behind it
and how they're working in it.
Yes, how they do what's their story, how they tell what they do at the start, at the beginning, the whole journey of it. So that was really important at the beginning, just learning a lot and just joining the community, joining the conversations. It was really important, so I can just learn, and people just started noticing me. And then when I had something valuable to say, I started making my post and just sharing my opinion about it, like what people think about it. And then it just over time I was posting, and still I'm posting. I'm trying to post every single day. And because of that, there is natural growth to it, because if you put content more, the more traction you will get, more percentage of it. And because of that, it really started. I started getting projects. Really happy to be named as a top 1 LinkedIn influencer.
This is I think an incredible award.
I was really,
especially as a young artist, I think, and just kind of shows if you're consistent and committed, you will be able to achieve something.
It really showed me, if you put in the work, that everything can happen. I didn't expect that. So if you do that every day, it's really cool, because you can test all sorts of concepts, formats, and everything. So it's really cool because I can see it from the first perspective, how people respond to some concept and what they think about it, in the comment section, or they will just reach out to you and say, oh, this should be like this, in my opinion. And I'm very open to critics, and I just want to talk about it, what's opinion behind that. And I have a lot of supporters, and it's really nice to have this journey where I started landed projects and just following the industry.
How did you feel the curve? So LinkedIn has a very interesting algorithm compared to TikTok or Instagram. And I don't know if you also post on those platforms, but how was the curve on LinkedIn of the followers? Is it kind of slow at the beginning and then it grew? Or did you feel your product, your visuals that you created were strong enough at the beginning that it kind of just attracted people immediately?
It didn't happen that way. I I'm active on TikTok, on Instagram, but I didn't start as hard posting content as LinkedIn, because I believe my mentor, he said like, just post on LinkedIn, you will get the results. And I was really like, okay, like at first the LinkedIn seemed a little bit boring to me. It's like platform you're finding jobs and you're not every day there, but that's the beauty of it, because there's just 1% of the creators on this platform, and I just wanted to make the platform more enjoyable, to be more just, I don't want to say spreading awareness, I'm learning still, but just putting some content that is not just job related, but it's also just beautiful, but has story behind it. It's just like the conceptual, just explaining what I learned. And I really kind of love this process, because as we talked about, LinkedIn is really supportive to you. They're really like, just good job, you can do it. And
it's
just
a really positive platform on social media that not a lot of other, I think there's a lot more hate comments on TikTok and Instagram, of course.
I didn't get support on other platforms, but I didn't really try as hard as LinkedIn. And you know, the LinkedIn is like the first for me, it's first social media. When I open my eyes, it's really it's LinkedIn, because the most active there. Like, what are people saying?
I feel that way when I'm on vacation and I always open LinkedIn.
People like watching, why are LinkedIn so much?
Because I think it's a very enjoyable social media, because it's not so much in your face. And okay, there are a lot of congratulations, you got a good job, but I think to a point where you can build your community on LinkedIn, where you have really inspiring entrepreneurs and innovative people to learn from, to look up to. And I think, of course, you can try to build that on Instagram as well, but I think Instagram
there's much more content. And on LinkedIn, it's really great, because if you have something to say and you just describe it, like in the copy, people will really listen to it. They will read it and respond to it. And really, you know, there's like your community of people who really gets it. And really sees the vision behind your projects. And that's really, you know, kind of like warm feeling when somebody gets you.
So let's dive a little bit into this technology that you're using. Like, what tool, like what's a step-by-step process of, I don't know, creating one of your videos? And now it probably has changed since the beginning, because different tools have came out. But what are you doing like today, like from the concept of the image to the animations to the video, even to the post to the text, if you write it on your own, if you use AI, generative AI as well for that?
So if I'm working, for example, it's different if I'm putting the content on LinkedIn and if I'm working with brands, because if I'm working with some brands, I don't really just post it on LinkedIn, because if it's in process, I just need to be a little bit quiet about it. But if I'm working with brands, the firstly is understanding who the brand is. Like, before I use any AI tools, it's important to know the core values, the story, and then in my own way, I just develop some strategy. So it's really important to have the knowledge behind it. And that was in the beginning. I was firstly learning and then just starting talking about what I do. So that's my just trying to get on calls, understand not just the brand, but the person behind the brand. What are the core values of this brand? And then I'll just create some directions and use the tools. Then it's first is human-based, and then it's AI, and AI is the tool like any other. It just needs the human input, because if you just
let it go,
if you just let it go, just do your own, it doesn't have that. People will not connect with the story, and people will just look at it like, this is not the brand. Like, brand has, you know, it's building up for years. You cannot just put some prompts. It's not just a logo. It's a brand story, and you cannot just put a pretty picture and this is the concept I'm giving to you. No, it's just it's understanding, and then I am the one who is leading the AI and just using it as my creative direction more. And that's then I'm creating the direction, the visuals that support it. And that's really important because before you didn't have the option to create the visuals to explain idea to someone. Like your brand could, I don't know, have this pop-up in this place or this experimental, I don't know, immersive experience to people. But if you describe it with the words, it's really hard. You know, it's really hard. So
someone else has a hard time visualizing what you're creating. I think it's also some people are very visual and they can even like, if you want to renovate your house or something, some people can see it in their head, right?
And some people like, how can I just translate it to you?
Oh,
like, what is my vision?
Cabinet there and it's going to look good. And someone's like, I don't see it until they put the cardboard boxes.
Exactly.
In the space.
So AI is really good because it gave us the option to just translate it into the visual style. And it's not just putting the prompts like people think. It's using the other tools like Photoshop. If I want to change lighting, for example, or the textures, that's all defined before I start doing the AI tools. And AI can do so much, you know. It still just needs a correction, human hand, especially if it's just for some brand that want to be recognizable or just want to do some pop-up and some experience in the pop-up, people can just get a tactile, tactile touch with the brand and not just, see, the visuals. So that's my step.
It's incredible. Have you been able to also work with brands who maybe do like a photo shoot session with their models and then adding AI as a layer onto current existing work boards? How's that experience?
Yeah, I have a project coming up and it's like event. I don't know how much I can talk about it. But yes, I do, that event is happening and there are like existing pictures and with AI, but just through the video, like AI generated videos and the tools I'm using. Besides that, I just create from one image from the real event, just experience like we see, I don't know, this table and I can make it this table is moving or some, experience out of it. So for the, I don't know, just social media or something.
I think that's exactly what you said, it being more tactile. It's allowing users, I think in the last 5 years with Reels and TikTok getting more popular, like users are more interested in watching videos than images or text. And so it's interesting when you go on an event, actually, that you are able to interact with a stand, a pop-up, the way that you would with your phone. So
that's amazing because I just wanted to talk about it too because the sensors are really modern. It's not just about the pictures, static pictures. It's about the video. It's about textures moving on the video and in real life translating AI. There are many artists who just use AI and technology and just we have projection mapping, like just projecting onto not just flat screen onto the building and just using AI to express your emotions. And some artists are using I know some artists that is using just database of the museum and just creating their own art out of it. Just it looks like the colors and motions moving, and that is projecting of it on it. Just whole museum photographs, paintings, just into the one moving visual that just kind of gets you emotionally.
Yes. I think it's another layer on art, and I think there's a lot of different ways to express art. And of course, I love the simplistic styles. Like Kandinsky and his lines, this simplistic. I love this. But then also, it's nice to see the extreme.
To be part
surreal.
Of the story.
I think also with Hollywood being able to create such incredible graphics, and it's also nice that we as people can create kind of surreal architecture, surreal graphics, surreal pop-ups that maybe one day might be able to exist in the world in real life.
Yeah, I think all starts with the vision. Even with chair, somebody just thought about it and then it's real life. And it's really great because it helped me create the pitches for the brands. So just to just have concept and visualize. And as we were talking about the motion, and people just want to be connected more than ever. Because of this AI, it's just a little disconnect, and people have like all sorts of opinion about it. But if you use AI in a smart way, we can use it as a part of the real world, as we mentioned, the sensors. People just really interact with the space, and as they touch the sensors, they can see how the whole space is just moving like through their move.
And I think that's any museum is more
interactive,
more interactive, especially in today's day and age. For kids especially, it's fun, you know.
Yes,
for everyone, it's
not
part
like
of the exhibit.
Before it was like, just watch the painting, don't touch it. Like, don't,
from 5 meters away.
Yes, how can I be part of something? I mean, it's beautiful to watch, but I'm all for being interactive and creating more immersive environments. In a sense, like when you enter the space, just everything needs to feel connected. Like you have a sense that you're in a different world. Like even the walls, or like every sense just must be the part of the journey. At the beginning to the end, it needs to immerse you in it. Just you can touch, you can interact with the space.
It's exciting with the work that you're doing already today, like with all these models being so fresh. But I think even in the future, with the video creation getting so much better, even in the last 6 months, I think it's improved incredibly. To see what kind of creation you're going to creative ideas you're going to work with.
People are creating the films, so that's a big thing, and it's looking really realistic. But at the end of the day, it's really important to say this is made by AI. I mean, it is visioned by you, but it's really important to say the tools you are using. I mean, AI is part of your toolbox, and sometimes because it looks too realistic, you need to mention it so people know, they know that's now concept, not a real place, and that's it's really important.
And like you said about the films, there's so many AI film festivals actually popping up, in film competitions popping up. It's very interesting. That
really excited about
it's capable, which I think for the first part, I don't know, someone who kind of like I love filming, I love creating films, like that's fun, but it's extremely expensive to get a budget for a film, right? To have all the team members that you need to create a film, I think it's very difficult. And sometimes for me also, I would feel like, I can get my concepts on paper on the screen,
and how can I just visualize it?
And then it's cheaper or easier to execute the final product in real life, than instead of just throwing away a budget on something that I don't even know will work. So it's kind of a good tool in a creative process as well, not only as a final execution point. I
agree. It's a really great tool, and the brands are using it because it's budget friendly, and as I said, like, it doesn't take much time. You can just try creative concepts, films, ideas, and that's really that's really great. And the new tools are rising. AI is evolving. And
which tools are you currently using the most? Like Midjourney, or which other ones?
Midjourney. I started with Midjourney. I tested a lot of tools, but still the Midjourney works best for me. And then for animation, Kling AI, Runway, really, I think, in my opinion, they're the best out there. And it's like the Sora is really great too. But the space is constantly evolving, and I really love that space because there is constant learning, like trying out the tools, and that's really great because as a designer it really helps you to boost up this creative process, and that's really great. You can just express yourself in so many ways you couldn't do before.
I think it's, for me, like I'm still, let's say, old school here, and I still use After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's like I've always wanted to switch to Blender like a little bit for animations, because 3D animations and motion animation. But for me, the learning curve is so vast on Blender. I'm sure like someone who uses After Effects like almost on a daily basis will have an easier time learning Blender. But still, it's like a big step to change your toolbox, or like going from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve. It's still like, I would say like you can do it and you still have the knowledge of editing and filmmaking and all of this. But at the same time, it's definitely, it takes some more time than it does to switch AI tools. Like, I don't know, I recently tried out a lot of different like chatbot tools, of course. And of course, they all work, they're all very user-friendly. It takes you like 10 seconds to learn a new tool.
Yes, and that's it. You know, AI algorithms really knows how to be easy on you. And I wanted to say I use Premiere like too, because when I'm doing like the video that just lasts for, I don't know, a few seconds, not just one, then I use Premiere to just put all these videos and add the music. So there is always like not just one tool or just depending on AI. It's just like using the all sorts of toolbox you have to just create your vision.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of new tools pop up and how those tools are adapted. Well, there's so much going on in this space, and there's so much research into efficiency, so they're going to be more efficient and of course cheaper than also. Yeah,
but it's still important to just speak better at like constantly. I'm trying to just learn new techniques as a designer too, as I'm evolving in AI space. I'm not just relying on it. I'm just you know, the core value of being the designer and just using your mind to it, and that's you know, the trends that are not just AI based. It's really mix of everything.
Well, I think that also just being a designer, there's so much also based in human psychology and just being a human-centric designer, so understanding what people want. I mean, even in marketing, I think a lot of it has to do with psychology. So it's very even with AI or not AI, you still have to, as anyone who's posting as a content creator on any social media, still understand the users. You don't just get to 20,000 followers without having a connection to society.
Yes, I completely agree. And just knowing a little bit of psychology and when to use what colors. Like we have hot pink, for example. That's the dopamine color. When you look at it, it just like it triggers you. It triggers curiosity. It's just it's not like we see the gray color. It doesn't really stimulate, you know, your brain as, you know, hot pink. And brands like Valentino are really using that color, and not only for the accent colors, but for the whole experience, because they know how much the psychology of the colors, especially pink, hot pink, have on people. And they just before they had a campaign, and it was like everything hot pink. It was the set, it was the audience, even it was the show, like the fashion show and the lighting, and that's what I call like immersive. When just people become, they're not just watching something, they become the part of the space. They're like even in pink, you know. So yeah, it's really nice. And even when we are talking about psychology and what's really the wow effect, it's like scaling up the objects. Like we have some, I don't know, the glass or, you know, the chair. But if you want to create some wow effect, and, you know, that is, you know, budget friendly, you would just create something, for example, inflated, like big object, like you see it and you think like, wow, like that is not part of the space. Like what's happening?
I think even IKEA does this. I was there maybe a month ago, and there's like a giant, you know,
and you look at it like it's
something like a giant light bulb or something.
It's like regular objects, but when you see it in just different perspective, it just, you know, your mind stops. It has this stimuli over your brain, and this just it's really, you know, good to use this. And like as we have patterns too, it's you can just because of the patterns, people are hardwired to just see the patterns. Like that's the recognition, repetition competition. We really just search, in all of the stuff. But if you put something hidden inside of this pattern, or if you just just make it a little bit different, people will be like, oh well, that's not like what we used to, and their brain will just light up, and they'll be like more alive. I'm just searching for the meaning. Like that's also part of some experience. Just using the regular stuff, but just in a small way. Just you can just hit some elements, and people be like, okay, this is the next level. As I have a mentor, and he worked with the Ford, and there was like he created the immersive experience. It was like the labyrinth, and it was the just space when you cannot touch. You can touch everything, but there was not like light or cell phones or anything. And it was the space people were just coming in and just touching the space. The walls were like having the textures, all sorts of textures. Like when they first coming in, the textures were like nature, and then there were like human-made textures. And then when people are just going out, it was the textures of the car, of the Ford. And it was really, as I heard from Grant, it was really amazing experience because people just felt connected with the space, just the tactile, immersive experience. When it's not, when you have one sense just so broadened up, it really
I think humans enjoy when they can understand the world around them. So if they can touch each material separately and and when you build their own world, they feel like they're part of something. I think it's just like the psychological effect of when you're actually building something, you're gonna like it more because you put the effort into it. So when somebody's part of an experience, even in a sensory way, I think it's psychologically it's just more interesting to us because you're representing yourself, you're representing you, and there's a part of you in that piece of art.
Especially if you don't know like where you're coming. If you cannot see, or there's no light, then you can just you're creating that wow effect people are talking about. Like, what did you touch? Like the glows. No, I must go again. Like I didn't touch all of it because you cannot see it. It's different if you have textures in your hand and you can just see it. Like it's great, but if you create some immersive experience and that like kind of the gamification, then it's really just connecting with people.
It opens up people's other senses, which I think is really important in the world.
Multisensory, it's really big hits, a big thing in pop-ups, and it's really how can you create the smells that people just when they enter the space, just splash of some smell brand has, or how can they touch? That's like the first questions I started asking myself before creating experience. It's not just the visuals, it's about like the sensory experience, like what I want, what's my message, what's the brand's message, what I want to, in the end, I want the people to talk about it, to just feel like part of it. So
to be there in the space and live in the moment. I think this is really important. Incredible. Well, what are you excited about? Like, I know you're still studying, you're still like growing as a designer and an artist, but what are you like excited about in your career, and kind of where do you want to have your career grow with this? Or do you want to go in a completely different direction?
I'm really happy where my career is heading, and as we talked about films, I'm really interested in that part too, for creating AI films. And besides that, I'm really happy to see my works being translated into the real life. So I just want that my visuals. I had a project. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but it's really good if you can just make something and just people can just see it in the real world. So I'm doing with AI, but still I'm just focusing how can I translate it to the people just being in the present moment, in the now, not just on the screens. So exactly. That's what I'm just more real life experiences. But on the other hand, I'm really interested on the Metaverse too. So it's really like NFTs, and that's really what interests me too. So it's not like I'm excluding something. It's all this space that is creating is really, you know, really great, and I want to be part of it. How I can, you know.
Yeah, and I think there's going to come a point in time where a lot of these interactive pop-up spaces might also be in the metaverse, and it might also be digitally available and they're connected.
Yeah. Many brands are using, you know, their marketing strategy to be in the metaverse, and they have just 3D versions of their products, and just you know, you can click on it, and they will just you just click on it. It's clickable, so you can just go to their website. So there's like links to it, and just immersing people who are just far away or cannot really be in this space in real life, which is good too. So people can have this experience too, and it's really cool.
I remember when I was a kid, I was like 12 or 13. Like we went to the UK, to London for the first time, and I really wanted to go there forever. And like Google Maps had just came out, and this like Google World, right? And I spent like 3 weeks studying every street of London, like where a hotel is, where we're gonna eat, where we're gonna shop for something, like, and just walking on the streets, seeing all the buildings.
Just putting this
And then when we got there, we had 3 days, and it was like, you know, and then I was like, oh, I need to find this store, and I knew all the buildings, and it was like a little video
game. You feel like you're part of it, like it is still you're looking at a screen, but this immersion, like you can walk through the streets and just look at it, like how it's like you're picking where you want to be. Yes.
And it was fun for me since I knew I only had 3 days, and I was like, I want to make the most of it. I want to see this, and this. I need to go to this store to buy this, and I just didn't have to, you know, be on my phone, looking like a tourist, or opening the map and being like, oh, where do I need to go? No, I memorized the whole city.
Amazing.
Like horrible, but horrible waste of time. But I was young, so. I think it's nice to kind of experience the world. And then I think a lot of video games do this too. They have like very accurate highlines of New York City, for example, when you're playing. And then when people go to New York, they actually kind of know those buildings.
Know what to expect. Yeah, because social media and games, as you said, like there's really, really big community in this space. And yes, as you see, like gamification is really the big thing, and really excited to see how the game sector is evolving too.
Well, it was really nice to talk to you, and I'm excited.
It's really nice to talk to you.
I'm excited to see maybe one of your projects or films maybe come out in the future. I think you're going to have a really bright future and exciting things to look forward to.
Thank you so much. I'll be sharing a lot of content on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for inviting me today, and really, really glad to be here and express myself, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you for watching AI Search. You can watch on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Let us know in the comments what you think.